when you're good and you're doing something that's unique and different, and you're not just simply going along and conveying all of the same routines and patterns that everybody else has done, you have to have this confidence inside that is often very difficult to convey to other people. Deep down inside, you are, when you look at it, it just seems obvious, right? Like you you think that, oh, you just keep walking forward to do something, right? With the Reciprocity Project, and as well as my own work, that's how I know to do this. I spent 2 years trying to get a job after my PhD, after going to some of the top schools in the world in both engineering and business. Um, and I had to have this confidence where I simply knew I was doing good work. I kind of had this weird pattern in the jobs that were looking at me. I had like um, most schools didn't care, didn't even look at what I was actually doing. But then I had, um, MIT and Wharton, um, you know, interested in what I was actually doing. And it's this weird pattern where, deep down inside, you're doing the good work that actually matters, that people will recognize one day and nobody else gets. But there's a small, tiny group of people that actually get the amount of work and the challenges that you go through. And I actually went to, had really good mentors and also great parents that understand to ignore the world. And I was also, I think, genetically disposed as well as having this sort of faith, the sense of faith and sense of confidence, this quiet confidence that nobody else really sees and gets. And so it's always been, at least for me, this journey, even with the Reciprocity Project, I talk about a lot. It's like, yeah, there is a sort of sense of doubt and what am I doing? This is stupid, just like what everybody else does. And then they kind of stop, right? They kind of cave in and go do something else. But my inclination is always okay. I know that everybody's going to think I'm stupid. Everybody's not going to understand what I'm saying, and I'm going to be a weird outsider. Giddy up. Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep trying one little day at a time. And nobody's going to understand it until 30 years. They look up and they say, oh, geez, why didn't I do that? And deep down inside, I know exactly why. It was because they're afraid, they're scared. They had all of these weird feelings inside that didn't make them feel good. And they decided to go do something else that wasn't as important in their life. I understand because I have those exact same feelings, and I know what it actually means to do this and how difficult it actually is to keep doing good work. It's not like, me and my wife don't have fights and things like that about it and uncomfortable conversations, but it's just, you just keep going, keep pushing, keep trying one little step at a time. And it's just this blind determination that nobody else really gets. And on one side, I think, the world looks at you and says that you're irrational, you're crazy, and they can't distinguish. That's why when I was getting hired, going through the process, and I couldn't get jobs, um, even though that I was really good, they can't figure out, is this person just like a giant loser? Or, you know, is he actually gonna change the world? And that's where I think a lot of people just don't understand, or they say, "Oh, he's just wasting his time. He's just putting in too much effort." All of the sort of same stuff that everybody thinks and they sort of judge. And I'm just gonna smile and nod and keep walking forward and fundamentally change the way that we actually do research, build something that nobody else has built, make the institution that I'm actually at one of the best ones in the world. And nobody is going to get that. Nobody's going to see that. And just what I'm actually doing. That's the thing that's interesting with it all. And part of the reason was why I started actually doing this, particularly in the Reciprocity Project, is to be a bit more vocal about who I actually am. Because I think part of the reason is people just don't get it. They are on the outside and they can't distinguish, like, hey, this person actually is really good. And I don't want to go work with this person. Or I want to go work with this person. So there was this like long, long lull that was very difficult for me. And if you watch a lot of the videos, I sort of talk about that, where for many years, it's like, okay, I know I'm good. I just have to say, giddy up. And today's just like any other, where I just have to say, okay, I know I'm good. And I just have to say, giddy up one more day, get going, keep trying, and ignore the rest of the world. And I think that's how you do anything that matters. So I think, on one side, I understand, I hear it, that it sounds like I have an inflated sense of ego, hubris, narcissism and all that kind of stuff. But on one side, you kind of need that to withstand all of the pressure of, if you don't do that, you don't do anything. You don't build anything because you have this sense of doubt and you think you're a screw up and all of those things. And you start believing what everybody else is believing and then you quit. Right. And so I have to simply just say, okay, I'm really good. And I'm just going to keep on going. I'm going to have this quiet confidence inside that nobody else is going to get except for those that actually matter. And that's it. Every day, I'm going to keep trying, keep moving the needle, building the Reciprocity Project, changing the world, the research world, so they understand, so they get it. And I'm not the only one that's actually doing, like, moving the needle. There's a lot of people, but they're just not doing it publicly. I know of a lot of people that are completely changing things they're not doing publicly. I'm just doing it publicly. That's the only difference. So you can see, and so you could say, yeah, you know what? I get it. I'm not that one lone nut anymore. And I'm going to keep going every day. So when you listen to what I'm saying and what I'm doing, you realize I feel all the same things that you feel. I have all the doubts, but I get back up and I do it again. And I keep trying. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. And we will see you in another 10 more years. And we'll see what will happen.